Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today I'm going to try and keep the promise that I make every time on my brick haul videos, which is to use as many of the parts as possible in future projects on this channel. Well, I'm a bit behind, if I'm honest, with parts of all kinds piling up into different heaps and bags and boxes and all the rest of it. So I'm going to try and do as many of those builds as possible today. Some of them suggested by you, some of them augmenting existing builds, and some entirely new. But one where I'm going to start is to use these lovely orange segment pieces that we built into some lovely logos for Vita Rush and a load of orange girders to extend our orange girder building and make it the lovely Vita Rush HQ. Oh, that'll be good. So yeah, I better extract this bad boy, and pretty soon he'll be twice the size he is today. Well, here is that building a bit closer up, and it was a very popular video, that one actually, with people really enjoying the use of these orange girders used in a slightly different way. Usually they're kind of platforms or bridges or something like that. But like this, they're very, very pretty indeed, especially with that sloping roof with all the solar panels on in a contrasting dark blue. So I think the majority of the people who watched that just basically wanted more. So yeah, why stop at 4 difficult to find girder pieces when you could have 6 or 8? So yeah, the first thought was to just add 2 more kind of on the bottom, and you can see that the diagonal angles would line up and it would actually come to a very flat bottom, which is quite sensible for a skyscraper. But then again, a lot of people really like the kind of downward arrow shape and wanted to keep that. So that meant, well, yeah, I'd need another 4, and they weren't easy to get, especially after releasing that first video when, well, the market went a bit crazy and virtually all the ones in the UK at the very least just vanished overnight pretty much. So yeah, that proves it was a good idea when Robin Hood Bricks influences global markets. But I did manage to get 4. Took me a while. I had to do it in 3 different packages for a start, buying singles. So that is what I'm going to do. But of course, I need to do a lot more than that because all the floors need to increase, of course, with all of the stuff that goes on the inside of those. So it wasn't as simple as just buying 4 more pieces. But I did like the idea. So here is the bedoing for everyone who encouraged me to do that. And then when I thought about it being a Vita Rush HQ building, which was another suggestion, so yeah, here is your bedoing for that, if I haven't given you one already, then I thought, yeah, I have to make the best logo I possibly can. And these segment pieces that came on the Christmas wreath were absolutely perfect for the main bit, and it's the right scale. So I think when this is twice as tall, I'll kind of attach that somehow to each of these flat sides. And if you're wondering where the door is, it's going to be on the far side of the guillotine that is the wall of the Lego room coming down. So we're just seeing the back of the building kind of right up to the train tracks when it goes back into its position. So that is what I'm going to do. And while I'm here talking about new things, I'm basically videoing right now on a brand new camera, and I'm using brand new sound. So if you aren't detecting a slight difference from the usual, then do let me know if it's a positive change or a negative one. I used to record my sound on a headset, which is annoying because it's got a cable and makes your ear very hot. And now I've gone to these lovely little wireless jobs that just use magnets to attach to your clothing. So I've got one of those on right now, so you can probably tell if you can hear me. Can you hear me? And the other thing is the camera is new on a newer version of my phone. So essentially it should be an improved picture as well. I'm wondering if we're getting enough lighting, if I need to augment the lighting now. But anyway, yeah, the good thing is it will focus on a wall look. It's not gone crazy. The focus is a lot better. And it's also good with, say, my hand pointing at something that hasn't just taken away the focus from, in this case, the arcade. It's only when I really put my hand in that it chooses to focus on that instead. So yeah, I think the picture should be better. Not too sure about the sound, but you'll have to let me know. And if you're a sound engineer, then do tell me what settings I need to change, because I'm a complete idiot when it comes to this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm hoping this will be a lot better going forward. Though I will be sticking to the old method for the brick calls, I think, because in front of the monitor on the build desk, it's very sort of echoey. So a headset one actually works a lot better until I work it out on this equipment. Anyway, cool. Right. Well, I've witted enough. I'm going to get on with making this building twice as tall. Well, I've had this build on its side to add all the additional floors because, well, it was getting very precarious indeed, and I didn't want it to snap. Look how far back I have to go just to fit it all in. Wow. And I haven't turned it around yet because I wanted to have the view at the same time as you. But I've got all of the new drone workers in there, all just doing their mindless jobs, marketing presumably. And I don't even have enough sort of spare old style police figures that I was using just to have somebody in a dark suit basically, and normal minifigure heads, old school ones, just so I wasn't wasting any better pieces. So yeah, half of the chairs are actually absent. So that's one thing I didn't buy. I didn't think I'd need sort of generic minifigures to top up my collection, but it seems I might do if I want it to look super busy. Anyway, right, shall we turn this around together? It's a bit wobbly, a bit precarious, so I'm a bit sort of nervous doing it one-handed with my left hand. Hold on, here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Is it stable? Right, move away, and oh, look at that! Yes. Oh, wow, that does look good. I mean, it's very familiar because we just saw one half the size of it, but I think you're right, you know. Those people who suggested it looked twice as good, twice as tall were right because, I don't know, it's just the right proportions now, isn't it? It needs to be several times taller than it is wide. Was before it was sort of, I don't know, 4-to-1. Now it's 8-to-1 or something like that. So yeah, that looks fantastic. Right, so we've got to put these logos on. And I figure the only real place to do it is by removing some of these Technic pins in at this level and replacing them with some Technic axle pieces that have got the stud on the end and then kind of riveting it together rather than having it clipping together. And then we've got some attachment points for those logos, which will be a little precarious, but I think we'll manage. Yeah, the whole thing's precarious after all, but yeah, that looks great. And a huge splash of colour into the city. Anyway, I shouldn't praise it too much yet because it's not even finished. Wow, check that out. That is seriously cool and seriously tall. I mean, it nearly reaches the moon, for goodness sake. But there it is with its lovely logos on to give it its purpose. Vita Rush, absolutely lovely. So I think that's about the right place for them. Sort of fairly near the top, but not right at the top. And you'll be able to see that from the different directions. It won't be staying here because it's slightly too big a footprint for the rail line. That's why I have it where it was before, where the rail curves away from the wall, giving it a bit more space. But yeah, wherever this is, it will be very visible. And the fact that it goes in that position means that you can see sort of one logo from when you come into the Lego room and the other one from where you are right now. So I think it is a great position, a great colour. And you know what? It's now the tallest building in the city by quite a way taller than what was the tallest over here, the Kong building. Maybe Kong needs to move, so you'll find it hard clinging onto all of the solar panels on this one. So yeah, I think that was a great thing to do. A bit hard to buy for, but wow, it is very vivid indeed. So I'm very happy with that result. And maybe the fact that we've got some minions away from their desk, working from home, no doubt, probably not achieving anywhere near as much work, is not really a problem, because as long as you can see that it is occupied on the inside. I'd never liked seeing Lego skyscrapers where there've been no attempt at the inside, because it just looks like an empty box, which may be realistic in some parts of London where they've built skyscrapers and not managed to fill them, but it's not something I want in my city anyway. So yeah, that is absolutely great. Wow. Tall, tall, tall. Orange, orange, orange. So there's one more suggestion on this one, which was to make a sort of squarer section at the base that was sort of a bigger footprint that would have all the doors in and a big reception and so on like that. But for now, I'm going to leave it like this because, well, I think it's beautiful in its simplicity. So I'll move that into position and then we can move on to our next project. Oh yeah, check that out. That is a brilliant opener to the Lego room. Kind of a left bookend when you come in the door and see that great big orange divider. Looks pretty good if you ask me, tucked in there. You will have to have a bit of a shimmy in the monorail track when I extend that out towards the airport, otherwise it will clip right into the front. that has been taken into consideration. And one thing that hadn't been taken into consideration was the fact that we're going to have an aircraft coming out of this wall, kind of launching over what will be the airport about here. So the plane will be coming about there. It'll be about the same height as I think that building. So yeah, maybe we should put some warning lights all over it. But yeah, I do like the look of it on there. That looks absolutely fantastic. And what I like about it as well is from over here, when it's poking out from all the other buildings, you know, it really still looks quite tall with the bottom missing as well. So yeah, very happy with that. Cool, yeah, on to the next build. My moon facade has got a few funny scenes on it, but one is over here involving the super secret police who are demanding that the astronauts respect their authority, and they're probably giving them some sort of parking ticket or annoying them in some other way, much to their surprise. But a suggestion by you was, well, how did they get there? Maybe they should have a pair of chip-style space speeders sort of parked up just behind them that they're walking from to administer their justice. So yeah, that's what I thought I'd do. So I looked at some old Space Police builds and stuff like that and created an SSP version. All right, so the base of the build is 2x6 with a 2x4 and some of these kind of old school guns I always used to think of them as being, but I don't know if they're considered that now. And then we can add some nice rocket motors onto the front there with some nice rocket tail fin pieces as well. And then onto that we can put a nice black engine block with some dots as well, and a bracket as well, and that'll take our two interesting stickered pieces. First of all, I've got this one, which came off the camper from the city. It was just kind of an air vent on the top of a caravanette sort of thing, and I thought it'd be really good for a engine air intake on the front of this beast instead, so that can go on there. And then I got a load of those, so on the other ones I've taken off the sticker to use elsewhere and added, well, you know what, an SSP logo. Oh yes, cut out from a slightly bigger 2x2 tile piece, so that one goes on there and creates a very sort of interesting shaped front. I really like that. Then we just need kind of a steering wheel or handlebars, yeah, on there. And then some red and blue lights on the back for the woo woo woo, woo woo woo. And there we have it, a kind of futuristic chip style whoop bike, so to speak, but the space variety. And then I got a clear minifigure head just to add in the bottom to make it hover slightly above the surface of the moon, so I can attach that to that facade. But obviously if it's chips, we need more than one, don't we? Because, well, there's two officers. So there we go, there is the pair, and I think they'll look really good on that facade scene, and will really draw attention to the fact that these guys are from the SSP. So yeah, let's add those onto the wall and admire our work. Ooh, and here's your bedouin for that idea. Well, you can never have too many red and blue flashing lights, and you can never have too many SSP logos, if you ask me. So yeah, they look even more menacing as, well, it's SSSP, isn't it? Super Secret Space Police in this particular instance, but yeah, that's really good. And a bit more populated on that grey kind of hemisphere. Yeah, I think we could fit a few more scenes on there. I'm planning to get some little green men on there and maybe an alien conquest thing, or I don't know, more landers. We could even have a historic sort of Apollo lander on there or something, couldn't we? Yeah, so still taking ideas for this real estate. But I think that is a good suggestion of yours. We do actually have another space vehicle for the SSSP, being the shuttle, though I suppose that'll have to be slightly far apart from this one, otherwise it'll be all condensed into one area. But yes, I like that. That's good. Let's move on to the next plan. Well, it's not just the pieces that I buy on my brick calls, it's also the ones that are sent in. And I've mentioned the fact that I was going to do a petrol station for trains, or rather a diesel station, I suppose it would be. And somebody very generously sent me all of the parts for a tanker truck for the city roads, but one that I can recycle very easily into this setup for train refueling. Yes, so I'm planning to put this in between the two tracks of my twin loops just to put it kind of out of the way, but in a very prominent position as well, that's visible from all sides, because this is a good thing to see from all sides, given it's got a nice interesting shape and the stickers, Energy and Octan. And I moved this one onto the back of this. Well, I moved all the stickers because, yeah, the power of OCD compels me to get everything absolutely straight as I can. But yeah, it's a really nice build and setup, where you can use a nozzle there, or maybe even a nozzle there if you need a long one, sort of emergency turn-off switch and all the rest, and this sort of angled two-piece sort of ladder to get on top. For whatever reason you need to do that, I have no idea. I'm not very technical when it comes to this sort of thing. Yeah, and there's just the sticker from the roof of the cab left, which I couldn't think where to put, really. There didn't seem to be any flat surfaces left, since we already had one on both sides of this. But that is a pretty good setup, I think. There's just one piece I want to replace that I've already put on a future brick order, and it's just to have that kind of 2x4x2 casing for the hose section to be yellow, because everything else is yellow down there, including these sort of stanchions that hold it up. They look pretty good if you ask me. Very simple but very nice. So yeah, that is a great addition to the channel, and another thank you to that person and to the person who came up with the idea for the diesel station. Right, let's get it in position. Well, this is where the train experts get annoyed at the fact that I've put it very near to some buildings, very near to a switch, very near to a level crossing, and that's probably completely inappropriate and illegal for all sorts of different reasons. But hey-ho, I'm going with it because it's kind of a useless bit of real estate that I had no idea for. So I've switched the ladder onto the other side from all the controls just to spread out the features, basically, and because the pedestrian line is probably got a bit more clearance than the cargo line, so I think that makes it a bit more future-proof. But either line can use the nozzle, so that's no problem at all. So we just need to do a quick check for clearance with the Burlington, oh, it's not called Burlington anyway, is it now? It's the Brick Nottingham Special Transport Train. Whoa, not too fast. We're going off an edge here. We're right next to a drop-off of a cliff, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, I think that's a really nice bit of detail. So we can move on to the next thing, having filled up another empty space of the city. But I think that looks fantastic. Another bit of bright, different colour and busyness going on in an area that was otherwise grey. Cool. In due course, I will definitely be adding loads of little scrubby plants and all sorts of other stuff around here, but I'll probably wait till I get that yellow hose container part because I'll be lifting it all up again after that anyway. But yeah, that looks really good. Thanks again. Now, I wasn't really planning on doing an art school, but I thought I'd show you this because it's come out rather fantastically, if you ask me. We had this Duplo kind of splat piece, which is really legs from peculiar character. There's a few different colours of it if you're interested. Very hard to come by, but I thought it also looked like a paint splat, and that also reminded me of the sticker for the art school being a paint splat. And I thought with some different colours behind it to convert the Duplo piece into sort of regular system, it would be quite an interesting 3D sign. So there it is, looking absolutely great if you ask me. So now we need to decide if we have a very large building, because it's going to have to be quite big to sport a sign this big, that is an art school, which I hadn't really wanted in my city. It sounds a bit frenzy to me. Or just have it as an advert for the art school just on any old wall that's blank. So I'm thinking maybe the former. I mean, technically you could even stick it on a great big pole, couldn't you? But yeah, ideas for that, please. But yeah, the idea to have it as a paint splat sign is absolutely fantastic. That could be one of my favourite 3D signs in the city. So yeah, that is great though. There is a lot of competition. Another thing I did was a little cocktail cabinet for an arcade game where you play two-player Space Invaders, or well, one at a time usually if it's like that. But I thought that was quite a simple build with the screen sort of horizontally in a table setup with some suitable decoration on the stickers for the sides, just being the sort of art for that game. So I thought that was worth sharing. And I had those pieces, and I got all of the line pieces for my little flyer, which I recolored from what was it? Was it Necro Knights? It was something peculiar. And I've just put this sort of Ninjago character on it. What's he called? Rapton. And it's got a disc shooter in the mouth. And I just thought it was really fun now with the luminous, or rather glow-in-the-dark horns and that sort of eye and mouth expression with the jet engines on the side and all of these stickers that I got on my last brick haul. in position. So that's great. So the idea with this, and I've started building, you'll be interested to hear, my Ninjago City set. So I've got the original Ninjago City, I've got the Ninjago City docks and the gardens, and I'm building those frenetically because I want to start my Ninjago area. Yeah, because I need distracting on a great big new project, don't I? But anyway, I am doing that, and that's going to go on all of the units and kind of be like a foreign city compared to Brick Nottingham, one that you probably have to fly to reach. But so they won't be touching as such, but they will be both in this room. And what I envisage of that is a bit of a future dystopia, sort of, I don't know, a bit like Coruscant in Star Wars crossed with Blade Runner. And I plan to have streets of flying aircraft all in sort of lines going along, and they'll all be a bit weird and wacky. So yeah, it's just a different build style really, and I think eventually I'll be building my own Ninjago modular to go with the Ninjago City official ones, but we're way off that, so don't get too excited. But that is my early introduction into the Ninjago sphere. So yeah, I really like that. So I've got quite a few of these from Space Police and so on so far, so that is a good start. So yeah, a bit of news there. Right, shall we play with another facade next? I think we've got a load of pieces that remain unused for this red one, because I had stopped buying the panel pieces that make it up. It started off as a very sort of slim, narrow one, basically like that, but without all of that side. And the idea originally was for it to be very sort of thin, so it looked like it was way off in the distance, but it didn't look in the distance. It looked, well, where it is, and it just looked thin. So I ended up making it a bit thicker, and then I stopped buying all of the pieces to scale it up, but you kept sending them in. So basically I got a load more, and then I gave in and bought some more as well. So now I think we're going to go to 3 wide, because if I make them or add them all just for the height, well, it'll be bigger than this one. I don't think we want that. I think now we want a sort of broader sort of apartment type building, and I do kind of like the repeating pattern. So yeah, it's a good flash of color as well. Cool. So I will pull that out and we will increase that as well. Well, with this being the second iteration of Brick Nottingham, I get to do everything a bit better than I did it before. Also with a bigger room, I get to do it a bit more as well. So yeah, that is excellent. Things like this cross section with all of the scenes is much deeper, more interesting, and with much more variety than I ever managed before. And I will be doing some of your ideas that you gave me from last time, so thanks for those. I've got a little list running. But another improvement is my facades. I'm trying to make them movable, so I can just pull them out quite simply and shuffle them about as new ones get added, and I decide the order is a bit in need of a refresh. So yeah, pulling this out took no time at all. So here are all the bits we've got. We've got the original building. We've got 6 more sections, which I have, whilst collecting them, built into another section for pure height expansion. But I don't think I really want that. Just 3 more sections up. I thought now I've got 6. I could put them all, if we think about it, on the right-hand side of that, and then it'd be going up to about here, and then it would be sort of low, high on this side, and then even higher in the middle. I thought that might be really interesting. And with that in mind, I also got one of the white ones that I'm using at the bottom. And just to vary them a little bit, I used a tiny bit of Brasso to polish off the kind of black splat that's on each of these pieces. That one's a bit discoloured, but you can barely see it when it's in position. So I thought I'd have splat, not splat, splat. Really, only one of them should have a splat if it was realistic. But yeah, again, you're not really going to see it behind all of the train lines and all the rest of it. So yeah, I think I'm going to reconfigure all of this and try and make it 3 wide. And yeah, with 3 different heights at the top, I think that will be the best combo, and still very movable for moving around the city. Let's go. Well, by no means as tall as the orange girder building, but just as fun. Got real breadth on it, a bit of bulk and heft. Looks like a very big residential building, because I try and keep residential out of the main bit of the city because it's the least interesting type of building. I like loads of commercial buildings selling stuff, much more interesting piece use and so on. But when it comes to the facades, I think doing this is pretty cool, actually. So yeah, maybe we won't extend this about a 6th time, having gone from about 5 of these panels to however many this is. And I've capped off all of the tops with tiles and slopes and stuff just to make it a bit more interesting. And there is our 3D kind of stick out of the Amazon package being delivered by a drone. And this building's kind of big enough to take a few more sort of 3D scenes sticking out of it. Maybe we should have somebody crawling up it, Spider-Man or something like that, I don't know. And then we've got the scenes in the windows of a parrot, a lava lamp, a man waving, goldfish in a goldfish bowl with a nice view, but not as good a view as the Teddy, who's got the best view of all over the whole city. So maybe I should add a few more scenes at the windows as well. But yeah, that's looking really good there. Super movable, as long as I'm careful with that lateral instability. So I think we should put it back into position and see how it looks there. But I am very happy with that extension. Yeah, this is now, I think, is it my biggest facade? He says, looking at the arcade machine. Yeah, it's about the biggest. I can't say that really that freely anymore with that great big arcade, but yeah, it's miles bigger than it was before, and I dare say a bit more interesting with its shape. Oh, well, that is a job well job. That looks really good. Starting to make much more of a skyline for my city in the distance. And the sad thing is, though, it sort of solved one problem, but created another one, because those three look rather small. But maybe I'll end up with those located on the other wall of the Lego room and have this one filled with new, taller ones instead. I know I've got a couple in the wings almost ready to go, and they'll link the scene from the space tower in the corner all the way up to that orange girder building. But yeah, this sort of subsection over here needs definitely one more in there. But yeah, you could even bunch them up a little bit closer and fit two more in, I reckon. But yeah, very good, interesting kind of shape and repeating pattern on the red one. I like it, and very cost effective, because those panels were mere pennies. I think the hardest to get bit was the 2x10 bricks in black, but you could always do that with loads of smaller ones, to be honest. So yeah, I was kind of being a bit of a structural engineer when deciding to use the biggest piece available for the position. But yeah, I like that. That looks very good. And the fact that I can get on Mrs. Hood's aerobic step and kind of reach them and rearrange them relatively easily makes it a much more variable scene than I ever had before. Yeah, maybe I need a couple more floors on this apartment building so our man on the ledge scene is still very prominent, because yeah, it's looking like a minor building now compared with all the others. So yeah, that is a very good scene indeed. Well, yes, I think when we finish the room, we'll have about twice as many facades as we've currently got, but I shall keep doing them one at a time. Right, so what else did I have in my box of bits that I'd promised to use? Well, I had loads of interesting parts sent in, actually, that were Technic, that were to do with sort of engine blocks with pistons and so on. And the suggestion there was to tie them all together with all the sort of moving parts and so on to create some engine blocks that could be being either cannibalized for parts or just being worked on near the train workshop, being the old train shed and so on. Maybe the Zeppelin train uses one of these V-shaped engine blocks inside its big diesel engine. Now, I'm not sure diesel engines ever have a V shape, and I'm not sure that trains have a V orientated engine either, but it is a very sort of big, meaty, industrial sort of looking setup. So if I'm going to have this in my city at all, then essentially I'm going to need to have it at a train scale, because, whoops, that's fallen off. Essentially, it's far too big for a car. So I'm going to try and have those sort of just sitting around looking like they're being worked on or broken apart in my train scene, I think. But yeah, they're just my first attempt using all these different parts that are very unfamiliar to me. Yeah, well, at least they work as well. Yes, I think that looks pretty good, actually. It looks like the workman over there has just pulled off a significant piece from there for repair or measuring or something or other. And then the second bigger one on this side looks very industrial indeed. And the fact that you can kind of turn the wheel and play with the pistons makes it technically have a play feature. So yeah, I'm in for that. So that was a great suggestion. Thanks very much if that was yours. Yes, we've done two changes in this area with the octane tank as well. Very good indeed. But back over, where was I working? Over here, I've got the next one of the suggestions, which was to do a massive 3D sign on top of my arcade. Now, as you can see, I haven't got all the parts for that, which will augment the Space Invader one that's going down the sides. But you all said I needed one for the roof. And well, this is that. Now, I was sort of hesitant to show you because it's not actually fully complete yet. But we do have a fully complete Pac-Man and, well, what is it? Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde, isn't it? I just remembered that on the spot. I was thinking I can never remember the fourth one. So, yeah, I've got most of the parts from them. They're following the same pattern from the original set, but I'm just short the odd parts. So some eyes, some 2x4 tiles there. This one looks like his brains are leaking out, doesn't it? Because I don't have the curved sections on those. They do come in this color, but they've only just been released in a Disney set, so they haven't made the second-hand market. He's missing an eye, but I could cannibalize an eye, and that shouldn't be a problem. So I should be able to get the Pac-Man and two of these complete, at least, onto the roof there. The question is whether I should add the brain-leaking Pinky and the incomplete semi-naked Inky as well. But yeah, I thought I'd just share the process with you since we were going through projects that were waiting in the wings. So those will be even better than the original set, which just had two ghosts chasing the Pac-Man. Those will go on top of here and make it, well, absolutely glorious in my opinion. So yeah, I'm going to have to pull off some pieces on the back there to make that additional 3D sign, like it wasn't multicolored enough. Well, now that is going to be absolutely awesome when we've got all of our eyes and the remaining pieces. In fact, it's only really the eyes that you notice. Oh, and that brain, yes. It kind of looks like a zombie ghost, doesn't it, at the moment? Maybe I should keep it. It's quite comedy. Anyway, there's a good reason for Pac-Man to run away. And if you were in any doubt as to whether this Donkey Kong backdropped and Space Invader side-arted building was an arcade, then, well, you can't be under any illusions anymore with this on the top. And with all four colours of the original Ghosts, I think that is absolutely amazing. The original had a play feature, the original set, where you kind of pressed a thing and they all, well, the ghosts kind of flipped around and became the blue ghosts that were the Pac-Man was chasing. But I'm not doing all of that nonsense. I just want the four bright colours as a 3D sign. So when earlier I said that art school one might be my favourite 3D sign, part of me was thinking about this one and thinking, I don't know, maybe this one's leapt into the top three. I don't know. There's just too many to fight for those top positions in my city. But anyway, that is a really nice addition that you can see from a long way away. And I think that was another great idea, an encouragement by you. So thank you very much again for that. We've given out quite a few today. Something else I did in the meantime, since last time when we did our Dragon Gate and Dragon Bridge, Dragon Gate and Dragon Bridge, Dragon Gate and Dragon Tower, that's it, is pull out the entire block that has the castle on. It's kind of relatively easily separatable, he says, talking of improvements that made the city better than the time before. It kind of comes out with all of these buildings as well and slides out as a massive section. And I was able to turn that around and play with all of the struts on the inside. So when we peer in, we don't see white pillars. Well, we don't unless we're right down that far now, but there'll be another great big build here, so that would be absolutely no problem. So it's just to stop us looking at, say, this angle and be able to see white support through those gaps. And you can't now. It's very dark indeed, as it should be. So that is absolutely great. And you'll also notice that I've taken out this section over here, which is going to be Major Oak Hill. And that's going to link up with the special gate that's in the way into the tower up there. And it's going to come all the way down to about, I think about here, the end of the ramp will be. And in between we'll have absolutely loads of medieval buildings in kind of a walled thing with a route down and all the rest of it. It'll be very sort of Edinburgh Royal Mile, if you think of that, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. Torches on the walls, battlements, all sorts of good stuff, and maybe a few modern elements all sort of mingled in. So yeah, that's what I've got planned for that. So I've pulled all of that out, and on my recent haul I got a couple more of these large art sections. So basically when we do the build and you peer down the open tunnel entrances for this one, which will look a bit like the old Major Oak Hill, which is here, then you'll only be able to see these grey pieces looking like official supports as well. So that is good. And I've done the ballast as well because we'd run out. So yeah, all of these parts have been immediately used and now I need even more. So we've got, yeah, a few more supports to help with that for the bits that you can't see. So I'm hoping that will be our next big major project and will take us just a little bit further into the rest of the Lego room. And then hopefully we can get the next sort of set of tables into this section and really box in that underground station and, well, yeah, get the whole old town going as well. And in fact, that underground station needs a redo as well because we're going to make it double tracked. So essentially, you know, it's going to go in front of our eyes to when it's going to the left, and when it's going from the left towards the right, it'll be going on the second track. So yeah, that'll be a little window that we'll be able to see both of those in. So with it having to be twice as deep, I'm going to need, well, some more arch pieces for a start. Better get ordering all of those, actually, thinking about it. So yeah, wow, we've done quite a few improvements today. We've done two great big facades over there. I think the orange one has to be my favourite. It looks absolutely majestic there with its logos on for its corporate headquarters. The red one looks good as well, though. This sign over here looks very good indeed, though, yeah, a few eyes short, I agree. And then we've got our improvements down here with the bits of engine block as suggested by you, and our lovely diesel fill-up station with all of the lovely Octan branding and those green pieces that were sent in and everything else. So yeah, that is really fantastic. So we've done absolutely loads, but I think I may have run out of time. So you have to get back to me on whether the picture is better, whether the sound is better, most importantly, which I'll be fiddling around with. I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with it, so it'd be really good to get your feedback on it. Yeah, either way, I think we've done a great bit of progress for the channel. Yes, yes. I knew I'd done something else today. I couldn't think when I was reading through the list, but yeah, the SSP or SSSP scene in the moon is also a good improvement. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a brick haul. This video got interrupted by somebody delivering packages to my PO box address, so we'll be opening those, as well as something bought by me on bricklink.com. And yeah, hopefully soon as well, I'll be showing you the start of my ideas for Ninjago City. So yeah, that'll be a really good thing to do as well. But until all of that, see you. Yeah, that looks very orangey. Nom 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 nom.